What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Day One Radio right here on Live Hip Hop Daily. I'm Maurice Garland in here with my man BP, Brandon Peters, the Lifestyle King is what they call him. What's happening, man?
So, man, what's good, man? It's been a roller coaster ride over the last couple days,
yeah,
bro.
Man. Yeah, for real.
As y'all know, we normally come in here and give y'all super, informative interviews and chop it up and give our takes, man. This episode is probably going to be a little different. Don't know how long it's going to be. Don't know how short it's going to be. But much like a lot of people, the untimely passing of Nipsey Hussle has definitely affected us for sure in a lot of ways. And we just going to chop it up, man. This ain't the sensational bullshit that's all over your social media, man. We going to get into the real. For sure, and push us to heal, man, and keep this shit going and keep everything going that he was trying to do. It's super funny. I don't even know if you remember, bro, when we had one of them fake ass snow ice storms here in Atlanta.
I know exactly what you're about to say.
Yeah, so like Nip was scheduled to be on the show, and They in Atlanta, if there's a half an inch of snow, they shut the whole city down. But this time there was actually a lot of ice, people stuck on the highways and stuff for 12, 13 hours and all of that stuff. But we had Nip scheduled to be on the show. He had a show here in Atlanta. And I drove, man. I got out in my whip, drove from my crib downtown to our old studio, pulled up, only to find out the building had been closed. And they didn't let nobody know they shut the building down, so we weren't able to record with him, man. And that was just super crazy because I was amped to interview the dude. And this is like, what, 4 years ago? Yeah. 3-4 years ago. So before, a lot of people got super hip to him, man. But he had been doing this thing for a long time. I think this was after the Crenshaw mixtape, wasn't it?
I think it was right before, actually. It might have been right before.
Okay, got you. Yeah, man. But it's super crazy, man. That shit I was having a phenomenal day that day. And, like, seriously, like, if y'all follow me on IG, man, I was hanging out with the homies and had went to a Mazda. And long story short, one of Colin Kaepernick's people was like, I had on his jersey. And she was like, yo, come outside for a minute. And he was like, yeah, they saw my jersey and doubled back because they wanted to chop it up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and we ended up... You're not on the microphone, huh? Niggas just be talking. They can't hear you. What was you finna say? Now you gonna hook up the mic. But I just happened to put on the jersey. That's what I put on that day. And, dude was super, super cool. And as y'all know, he had.
And you're talking about Colin Kaepernick. You never actually said, hey, Colin Kaepernick was outside and I.
Yeah. So, him and Fabian, Occasional Superstar, were in Ash and all of them were in Baltimore the previous week. So we chopped it up about all of that stuff, man. Super cool dude, man. Super genuine cat. Like, you could really tell, like, he appreciates people rocking with him. Because, he don't talk much. I made it clear because, like, me. I think the last time I asked for a picture with a celebrity is when we ran into Magic Johnson in New Orleans. That was like 10 years ago. You know what I mean? At a party. So for me to do that, that's I don't really do it. But I was like, dude, you one of them people that you actually put it on the front line and sacrifice for what you to believe in, and I gotta respect that. I think whether you agree with him or disagree with him, you gotta respect that. So to go from that to being on my way home and phone start going crazy, the Nip was shot, and then 30 minutes later, his guy Indrasando, forgive me if I'm pronouncing the name wrong, went on live, and that was the first time I heard that he actually died, and I was just stuck, bro. Like, I couldn't believe it, man. I'm still kind of in disbelief. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy.
I think a lot of people are in disbelief. I mean, of course that he died, you know what I'm saying? But I think a lot of people are even in more disbelief of, like, how it happened. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, being in this hip-hop culture, we've had a lot of, high-profile deaths. You know what I'm saying? Mostly over the last few years been, drugs and self-inflicted type stuff. You know what I'm saying? But, to see the way he died, you know what I'm saying? Like, in front of his own store on some jealousy nigga shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, Yeah, like I was saying, there's so many people with disbelief. That's why so many people were immediately like, "Oh man, it's because of the Dr. Sebi documentary," or "Oh man, it's the government taking out another one." You know what I'm saying? Nobody wanted to believe that somebody would actually do that to him in front of his own store on some bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I've been very careful in the things that I've said on social media. I've had conversations with people privately, and obviously, being from California, you know, I have friends and family members that, you know, are in that world. So I heard stuff almost immediately that ended up, for all intents and purposes, being true. And I just didn't discuss it. So I just kind of ignored all the conspiracy theory stuff and all of that stuff. But it's just like, I don't know, man. It's just, I feel like part of it is genuine. I feel like people are very paranoid. We do live in a time where it's easy to be paranoid. It's a lot going on. But at the same time, I feel like people like to make themselves a part of the story. And that's somewhat disturbing. And one thing I saw that kind of threw me off, and I kind of want to get into and get your thoughts on it, is I believe it was T.I. Posted, and I'm not sure if it was him. I saw people repost it and saw Trouble Man, whatever his IG is, on the bottom. So if he didn't post this, my apologies, about saying Zimmerman was dead. I mean, Zimmerman was still alive, but Nipsey was dead. And I'm like, to me, that's I get the sentiment, but that's a very short-sighted way to think about things, because that is to say that Zimmerman is not protected. I don't think Zimmerman is just out here walking around with zero protection. And also, even if he is, we know how law enforcement works. You killed somebody who's white or culturally white, you're more likely to go to jail. You know what I mean? And so,
I mean, hell, like even in the case of people like the guy that went to jail essentially for filming the Eric Garner murder. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, they just hounded him until they could, you know what I'm saying, have a reason to put him in there. And he's still in there. You know what I'm saying? So.
Right. And, you know, it's just kind of, I get it. It's a lot of emotion, a lot of anger. I completely and totally understand people reacting emotionally and putting stuff out there that may or may not be true, or may or may not even make sense. But my thing is, man, we have to protect our own at the end of the day. Like, there's no way, and it's partially how you move, and it's partially us looking out and really protecting our own. This dude was special, man. And he was doing things and contributing to the neighborhood that he admittedly had done things that did not contribute to the neighborhood in the past. So it's like, bruh, that there needs to be somebody around 24/7 making sure that individuals like Nip are protected. And that somebody, whether you know them or not, can run up on them and do whatever. You know? That's my thing, man. Like, we got to protect everybody, but especially our women, our children, and the people that are special, that are really
leaders and contributors. Just
I mean, exactly. So
I mean, that person had he had a lot. Not to say that anybody else doesn't, but he had a lot of people. Depending on him, investing in him, believing him, supporting him, you know what I'm saying? Not that, you know, one death is more or less valuable than the next, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, this was a person where it's like, that's why it's like the whole disbelief thing. It's like, what? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, it's crazy because it's funny. Like, granted, you know, people were trying to find a laugh out of it, which I understand, but it's like, them cats, from the 85 South show, that there's a clip out there. It was not in the context of Nipsey's death, but like there was a part of one of their shows where the guy was talking Carlos, I think, was talking from the context of like God getting tired of seeing certain niggas come to heaven. You know what I'm saying? He's like, nigga, they shot you? Man, what the fuck they doing down there? They shot you? Nigga, come on now, damn, bro. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's that feeling too. It's like how did this one happen? You know what I'm saying? Again, I can't reiterate enough that, every life out here, not saying that, Nipsey was more valuable than somebody's uncle or cousin or something like that, but it's like, for like this one really, really, really stings, you know what I'm saying? Because
yeah, man, it's I was talking to a friend of mine who was a huge Nipsey Hussle fan, like really big Nipsey Hussle fan, and she's younger, and she was like, "Is this what it felt like when Pac died?" And I don't even I feel like my mind state when Pac died was completely different.
Yeah, I was 16 years old, and I was definitely upset and affected by damn, man, they killed somebody that has really. This person's words has really influenced how I view the world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
same here. I think it would be interesting to talk to somebody that's like a teenager in their early 20s about how they feel about this, and I'd be able to reflect on how I felt about Pac dying. I think the difference is none of us believed that Pac was actually dead.
Because we had seen it before.
Because we had seen him come back from that. And we didn't have TMZ and the internet. And so we had the internet. We didn't have TMZ and social media or whatnot. So it's a little different. I haven't watched the video. I refuse. I don't watch anything.
It's I don't want to see, because I mean, hell, I messed around and saw the first one, from the people that were filming, with the CPR footage and all that, and I was like, oh man, I really wish I didn't click on that. But then when they said, oh man, the whole thing is out there, and I was like, bro, I don't want to see that. That shit's traumatic to see. That shit traumatic to think about.
I think we talked about this on the show before. It's like everything is Faces of Death now. Remember Faces of Death, the VHS tapes? And that used to be something crazy. Oh, so-and-so got the Faces of Death tape. You check it out or whatever. But now it's it's just in your face. And I'm like, fam, I don't want to see nobody die. I've been in the room when somebody passed away. It's not a good feeling.
No, same here. I
don't want to see that.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think it's hella weird that people are just so sensationalistic or desensitized that they just run the shit like that. It's it's hella weird to me. I don't really get it. I think one of the other questions that came out of this is that, dude, can you really become a success and give back? This whole, last couple of years, it's don't leave the hood, buy up the block or whatever. And that's cool. And I'm with that. I'm all about black-owned businesses, black wealth, generational wealth for sure. My thing is man, is it possible?
I mean, I guess if there's anything to take away from this, I would say yes, it's still possible to do that. I think from this point moving on, though, a lot of people are going to start asking themselves, okay, well, how present do I have to be to do it? You know what I'm saying? It may be a thing where it's I have to do this from afar. And if I do show up, it has to be an event. It can't just be me just in there. It has to be oh, it's an event. The community. And it has to be something where it's something like this is less likely to happen. You know what I'm saying? It has to be a big deal. Hey, it's, backpack giveaway day. Hey, it's give out turkey day. You know what I'm saying? It can't just be Sunday afternoon, we on the block. You know what I'm saying? So it's I think it can still be done. But I think from this point moving on, you'll see a lot of cats that are in this position. They're probably going to decide to do it from afar. You know what I'm saying? Can't just be out there every day among the people as much as you want to be. You know what I'm saying?
And, I know that before it was taboo, then it became kind of cool. Not cool, kind of acceptable. And then now I don't know where we are with it. I haven't talked to a rapper or artist about it in a long time. But, security. I feel like that shit is probably necessary. I know.
Every rapper I know of and have, frequent speaking relationships with, and even ones that that I see out, they be guarded up.
I mean, you say that, and I don't want to say no names because I don't want to give nobody no wrong idea. But we have friends that are rappers and prominent people that I've never seen with security before. Ever, and maybe because we see them in real chill places, But bro, you don't know what's going on here. I know, I feel like it's the guys that, you know, a lot of times, like I've been around Snoop quite a few times. We both know 40. I rarely ever see them without some kind of security, and I think it's because they know they ain't scared. They just know they got a lot to lose. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And maybe that's
it's kind of like how Patrice O'Neal used to joke. You know what I'm saying? He was like, look, man, I ain't no punk, I ain't no hoe, but if you get a certain age, you got shit to lose, nigga, you better call the goddamn police. I got shit to lose. You know what I'm saying? They ain't about to be out here fighting with you, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like after a while, you know, when you become a certain age and you get, you know, to certain places in life, it's like some shit you just gonna be like, you know what, man? This is necessary now. You know what I'm saying? This is just a part of my lifestyle now. This is necessary. You know what I'm saying? So
this is so tough, man. A lot of people brought up the Boosie thing too. Do you feel like rappers got to move out of their hometown? We full in Atlanta. We ain't got room for no more rappers.
Right.
Y'all got to find somewhere in Memphis or Miami or something. I don't know. But do you think rappers, in all seriousness, do you think you got to move out of your hometown?
I mean, I don't know if that's a necessary thing, because, I mean, if you're a high-profile person, that vulnerability follows you everywhere. You know what I'm saying? It's like if I'm a rapper from Atlanta and I move to Detroit, there's going to be some dudes up there that decide, you know what, let's get him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. If I'm a rapper from Houston, Texas, and I move to L.A. or Chicago, there's going to be a group of people that decides, he out here flashing, let's go get him. Or we know where he at. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, that's going to follow you everywhere. So, I mean, granted, as far as we see the trends, as far as, you know, when you see people like your Doe B's or even Own B Peasy, you know what I'm saying, what just happened to him, and you know what I'm saying?
What happened to Peasy? I didn't even know.
I mean, he went back to Alabama and got shot. You know what I'm saying?
Shit,
So
I ain't even hear nothing about
it. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, it definitely happens. It's definitely something to, you know, be keen of, but I don't think, you know, leaving is going to necessarily, like, lessen your chances of something bad happening to you. I don't think, you know, cats got to, like, leave where they from and not go back. You know what I'm saying? Now, they do have to be very wise about where they go when they do go back. You know what I'm saying? It's like you probably can't just go back to the shoot-'em-up club like you used to. You know what I'm saying? You probably just can't just be off in the weed spot like you used to. You know what I'm saying? You might just have to just kick it at the mall or your local Papa Do's and be like, hey, man, I was here. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might have to kick it on the rich side of town when you go back. You know what I'm saying? You may not be able to just be in those same streets as you once were. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, hell, the idea is to kind of get out the streets. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's what you're hustling and working towards. Like, man, I'm trying to get out of this situation. You know what I'm saying? That don't mean that you can't, like I said, come back and give back. You're just not going to be able to be as present as you may like or feel. You know what I'm saying?
So it's kind of like you can't have it all.
No. And then, you know what I mean? And we got to also appreciate nuance here. You know what I'm saying? It's like a lot of people that we know and love in this culture are folks from a certain background. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when they attempt to go back to that element, sometimes it don't always work out. You know what I'm saying? I hope I don't sound messed up in saying this, but it may be slightly different from the guy who, okay, man, he ran track and he became a doctor and he came home to visit his mama and somebody, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's kind of different when you're like, okay, we know this person's a changed person. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? We know their background, whether it be gang banging, drug dealing, hustling, bad stuff or whatever. We know their background and they are a changed person, but it's something to be said about, you know, dang, man, do you really want to return to that environment, be so close to that environment that you work so hard to escape from? You know what I'm saying? So, like we do have to kind of pay attention to the nuance of it all, too. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, I mean, I guess that brings a new perspective to prisoner of your own success. Like, it's a trade-off. Like, you want to do these things, you got to move this way. It's very few people that are inconspicuous as hell and still very successful, at least among black folks.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Because, hell, like, even if you try to move, it's like people are always going to be watching your pockets, whether it be folks in your own community or the outsiders. You know what I'm saying? Like, you look at somebody like like a J. Cole. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't hear too many black folks or his fans counting his pockets. But Forbes magazine is counting his pockets. You know what I'm saying? So even if you try to be somebody like Cole, it's like, you know what? I'm not cutting the hair. I'm wearing the same Jordan 1s everywhere I go. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to look like I have any money, but that Forbes Cash Kings come out. J. Cole right in this much $1 million from his touring and his merchandise. So now, like, somebody know what you got. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's kind of inescapable after a while. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, it's like you gotta ask yourself, is it even worth it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it trips me out. Like, we've had a lot of rappers lately. Well, not a lot. They've pointed out Blueface and NBA Youngboy and Cardi B. Those clips, I'm sure you saw it, talking about how they just in it for the money. And I'm like, ooh, is it worth it? At the end of the day, if you make yourself a target, like a Rich and Dead ain't doing doing you no good. You know what I mean? Is it? There has to be a middle ground somewhere, man, to be able to do what you love. But
your thing is though, like, even with people saying I'm only in it for the money, I don't think that a lot of the tragedies that we see are money related. It's just jealousy related. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not like a lot of the people. It's not like a lot of people that we've lost in this culture, whether it be Pac, Big, you know what I'm saying, Nipsey now, you know what I'm saying. The only exception I could think of is maybe XXX where it's like, okay, that was a robbery. Somebody wanted the money. You know what I'm saying? But like a lot of these other killings is like just jealousy. Like it's not like, oh man, they shot him. Then they went in his pockets and went in the back of his car and stole all these things because they saw a walking lick. Like all this stuff is like they left these people dead with their bank accounts intact. You know what I'm saying?
But I think it all goes hand in hand, man. I think jealousy has something that normally it got something to do with money, fame, or women. At the end of the day,
attention, yeah. I mean, just like, man, this person getting more attention than me. You know what I'm saying?
Right, which is sucker shit. Like I don't understand why people are so hell bent on getting attention. But I guess that's just the world we live in. Right. As this story continues to unfold, and even by the time you guys hear this, there'll probably be, more things.
Right, right before we went on there, they arrested the dude. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of stuff happening.
What can, in your opinion, what can people do to heal? Because my thing is, the seeds were planted. Nipsey gave a lot of game.
Yeah.
Out there to be 33 and honestly to have only really amassed a lot of attention from the public over the last year, maybe 14 months. This has to continue. I feel like he planted enough seeds for it to continue. I do believe, his family and his team will continue the work. He had his hands on a lot of stuff, from STEM programs to a lot has been made of him buying back that whole little plaza on Crenshaw and Slauson, and even investments and things of that nature. Do you think that healing has something to do with taking those gems he gave and applying them and continuing this mission in your own neighborhoods?
It has everything to do with that. It has everything to do with that, whether that be doing it in your own hood or finding ways to support what he was building, whether it's, I'm going to go on the website and buy me 3 marathon T-shirts. You know what I'm saying? It has everything to do with that. You know what I'm saying? Because the crazy thing is, it's like, even the people, when you hear people speak about him and all the headlines and all the writings, it's like, rapper may be in the headline, but it's like all the stories about stuff he did outside the booth. Like none of these news writers are saying, "Oh yes, the singer of the song Hustle and Motivate." You know what I'm saying? Right. They not running down his discography or nothing, or none of that. Yeah. Every paper, every report is saying, "Man, this dude was investing in his community. He was doing this, he was doing that." So it's like, I think making those kind of decisions for your neighborhood, or even supporting what he had already had going on, like that is the healing. That is the healing. It's like, not letting the mission and the vision and the gems just die. You know what I'm saying? That is the healing right there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I really hope that continues. Like I said, he gave a lot of information, a lot of game that I feel like can be applied to different areas. And one thing I saw that I thought was pretty amazing, man, and we don't really see it that often, is there were and there will be candlelight vigils and memorials and things all over the country.
Right.
And I thought that was really big, man. Like, I hope he knew how many people he had really touched, you know, before he passed. And I hope his kids know. And, you know, I hope his lady and the rest of the family knows, because that means a lot, man. That's rare in this day and time, bruh.
Right.
It's a lot of people that talk it, but it ain't too many people that actually impact lives. Like, to me, that's the difference between certain artists and other artists. Like, the artists that we love, the artists that live forever, are artists that what they said, what they did touched our souls. You know, that's what music is supposed to motivate you. Music is supposed to touch you. You know, some music is cool to entertain and dance and listen to in the club and trip out with your friends, but when you got a great win or you going through some shit, them songs that you put on, them artists that you put on, man, that's what lasts the test of time. That's what you know, if you got kids that you can play for your kid that don't know nothing about nothing and they find something in it that they like. You know what I mean? That's the difference between, I mean, no disrespect, but what's real and what's not.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, man. But I just, yeah, man, I don't, and sorry if it sounds like we rambling and shit. This is as much my venting and my, you know, my process of letting this shit out as it is anything, man. Because I was really bothered by this shit.
Yeah, man, bro. It's like, to see that, it's like, even when, like, you know, when it just, I mean, granted, all deaths come out of nowhere, but it's just like,
this really came out of
nowhere. Because
right?
it's like, you know, I'm sitting on the phone talking shit about Duke with a friend. Man, they nigga trash. And you just text me, man, look at this shit. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like,
yeah.
And then even as you're reading, like, damn, that's messed up. Like, he ain't gonna die though. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
yeah.
You know, it's like you just see it like, damn, that's fucked up, man. Yeah.
That's that Tupac shit.
You know,
Yeah.
you're like, man, this is messed up. But he gonna be all right though.
Yeah.
But then it's like, oh damn, this ain't sounding too good. Oh damn, you know what I'm saying? So it's like,
right. Yeah, man. Before we go, I would just like to say, man, you know, and I feel like we have fairly intelligent listeners, but you know, whoever's, man, be careful of what you put out there. Things you post on social media, things you say to your people, putting out that energy, like, it makes a difference, bro. Like, what you say, what you write, like, it really does make a difference. You may think it comes and goes, but it's going to impact you in some kind of way, and you never know who sees it. Like, imagine that man's daughter on social media scrolling and seeing all these people talking about how her pops got killed. She don't care how he got killed. She just cared that he ain't there no more. That's what really matters, man. Like, all this other shit is smoke and mirrors, bro. It's entertainment. Like, what matters is really your family and the people that hold you down that'll be there if you didn't have a dime. You know what I mean? And we got to be cognizant of that. I don't think anybody would want strangers speculating about the life and death of their family members. So why would you do it to somebody else just because they famous? That's some weirdo shit, bruh.
you do.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't really understand. I think people need to think. I think these things are so immediate now, and you can pick up the phone and talk to thousands of people in 10 seconds. That doesn't mean you should say whatever.
Yeah.
Think about what you said. What Herm Edwards used to say. The think before you hit send. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
do that. You know what I mean? And granted, we've all done reckless stuff. Like, yeah, that's part of life. You have a reckless phase. But man, this is somebody's life, bro. This man had kids. He has a lady, brothers. You know what I mean? And people that really loved him and really cared about him. And it's we got to do better, man. We got to protect our own. We got to watch what we say. And we really got to use the gems. And not only Nip gave us, but You know, everybody keeps bringing up Dr. Sebi. And this motherfuckers that got diabetes too, talking about he was killed because he was doing the Sebi documentary. Well, shit, clearly you didn't listen. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, man, just own your own stuff, man, and live your life the best way you know how, man. And it's if Nip's passing affected you, if you ever got any game from anything you listened to, whether it was interviews or his music, just, you know, put it into action, man. Put it into action in your hood, man. Put it into action with your family. Put it into action with your circle, man. Just don't be a yes man. Don't be a yes woman, man. Give game to your people. And if you winning, make sure your people winning too. That's one thing we can definitely say about him, man. He always supported his folks, man, and brought people up and kept it solid. And that's what all of us need to do. You know what I mean? Sorry for such a, you know, somber episode, man. Hopefully this helps somebody out as much as it helped us out, man. But we appreciate y'all listening. Please follow us on Day One Radio on all your social media. And we'll see you next week with another show. Peace.